Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this day, and we're always grateful for an opportunity to serve you and our community. We pray, Lord, that you'd give us wisdom today and help us to be good stewards over the county's business. We want to be a blessing to you and a blessing to all our residents. Lord, we do pray for those who are overseas in harm's way and fighting for our freedom and the freedom of our world to keep things peaceful and safe. So, Lord, we pray that you be with them and bring them home safely to their families. Thank you, Lord, for all you do for us. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Join me in the pledge to the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Be seated. Get in here. All right, do we have any announcements this morning? Anybody? No announcements. How about, I see we have one public comment. Ms. Knaps, if you'd like to come up and address the court, is there a particular issue you want to talk about, or? So you want to wait till we get to the elections part? All right, very good. All right, no trouble. Is there anybody else that would like to make any public comments on any issue? All right. We do have a quorum present and voting today. Precinct 1 is Commissioner Hatfield. Precinct 2, Commissioner Timmons. Sims presiding. Precinct 3 is Commissioner Coos. Precinct 4 is Commissioner Ebar. We'll call Harrison County Commissioners Court to order here on the 30th day of July 2026. We're in the historic courthouse here in Marshall, Texas. It's 9:05 a.m. First item this morning comes from our auditor. Number 1 is consideration and action regarding line item transfers. Good morning, Ms. Haynes.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. You should have a copy of the line item transfer. I am requesting transferring $121,174.33.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes 5-0. Number 2 is consideration and action regarding payment of regular bills.
Requesting payment of $989,193.11.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Ebar. Any questions or comments on our expenses? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0. Number 3 is consideration and action regarding payroll for July 17, 2026. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coos, second by Commissioner Ebar. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0. Number 4 is consideration and action subject to ratification in open court the transfer of funds in the amount of $250,000 for payment of medical claims. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebar, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions, comments? Is there any end in sight on our?
Pardon me, the claims have lowered the last several weeks, so
Okay.
it's looking much better in the last several weeks. They've been less than 100,000 for about 2 to 3 weeks now.
Okay.
So that's good.
Very good. All right. Thank you.
Some of the big claims on the, get that magic number yet. So that ought to slow some of that.
Yes, sir.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Number 5 is consideration and action regarding the budget amendments. These are insurance proceeds per local government code 111.0108. This is a special budget for revenue received after the start of the fiscal year.
This is for a sheriff's office vehicle that was in an accident that we received the insurance payment for.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coos, second by Commissioner Ebarb. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes
Thank you.
5-0.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, we'll hear from our Road and Bridge Department. Morning, Mr. Powell.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. First item, I'll give you a quick update on our road construction. We're progressing nicely. We have finished cementing Lake Road. We're just working on the top of that. We're currently cementing Strickland Springs as well as Cooks Road. We did have a minor equipment failure last week. We had a tire blowout on the reclaimer, so we had to wait on a new rim and a tire. Those are not something you can find on a shelf anywhere, so that's supposedly being repaired today, and we'll get that back out and running, so we'll finish up Cooks Road. Like I said, the weather's been cooperative. It looks like for the next couple of weeks it's going to be cooperative as well, so we are making some very good progress as we get into our third month of our construction window.
So how bad did the reclaimer slow you down?
We lost about 4 days, but they'll pick up the pace. They got it, most of it chewed up. The last remaining small piece of it to get it chewed up before we can mix the cement into it. Yeah, but we probably lost 2 or 3 days total
Okay.
out there.
The rental or ours?
That was ours, and it happens. A tire blows out and it bent the rim, and it just set us back about 4 days, so it happens. But our mechanic shop is on top of it, and they got the rim and the tire, so it's being remounted today, so we should be up and running tomorrow.
Very good. Any other questions, comments for Mr. Powell on his construction report? If not, we'll move on to item number 1. This is consideration and action regarding personnel changes for Harrison County Road and Bridge.
Yeah, we had one new hire this week, an assistant mechanic in the mechanic shop, and then unfortunately, we had a resignation. The young man that was one of our truck driver equipment operators, he's taken a job that's more in line with what he wants to do for the rest of his life. It happens. The new hires we had last month are all working out very well. They're all still there, which is bonus. We're going to continue to work on attracting some additional hires as we get into late August, September.
All right. Is there a motion to approve personnel changes?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Hatfield. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Number 2 is consideration and action regarding utility applications submitted to Harrison County Road and Bridge Department. First group is from BTA Gathering. That's on AC Roads, Blocker Road South, Carolyn Bell Road, Foreman Road, Mercer Road, Newton Road, Waldron Ferries Road, West Shreveport Camden Road, and Wilcox Road. Center Point's on Cary Lane East, and Sabine Oil and Gas is on Bailey Cutoff and Cox Road.
These were all submitted through our office. We reviewed each one. They're all in line with the standards and requirements that we have, so we recommend that we approve these utility applications.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coos, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Number 3 is consideration and action to accept a donation of clay soil material by Jimmy Lee Ranch to the Harrison County Road and Bridge Department for future projects for county-maintained roadways and right-of-ways with an estimated value of $62,500, which is approximately 50,000 yards.
Yes, we were contacted about a week or so ago from Jimmy Lee Ranch to consider accepting donation of clean clay material. We went out and looked at it. It's got no stumps, no garbage, it's all clean. They're creating a pad site and a pond, I believe. All we have to do is truck it. They'll load it for us. Again, it's another donation. It's good material used in shoulder work, drainage work, and it's material we don't have to buy, which means our budget gets stretched a bit further. So we're always willing to take donations like these. However, every time we get asked that, my response is the material's got to be clean. I don't want to take on someone else's issues if there's garbage or tree stumps or things like that in it. That's why we go have a look at it first. But in this case, this was really good.
Where are we keeping the material?
We will take it to one of the pits, and we'll have it stockpiled strategically, around the county, so that as we need it, we don't have to go too far to get it. This one is not far from, I believe, one of the pits. It's only maybe 3/4 of a mile to the pit, so it'll be a quick and easy transition to get it off their property and onto ours.
Very good.
So, yeah, these are always well-liked. We will accept them 90% of the time.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Next up, this is for Sheriff's Department. Morning, Sheriff.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners, how are y'all? Yes.
Item number 1 is consideration and action regarding Deputy Cole Bailey for out-of-state travel to Durant, Oklahoma to attend the Triple Threat Interdiction Workshop on September 3rd through September 5th, 2026, to be paid from line item 100.561.4429.45, which is travel expense.
It's just training,
Yep.
interdiction training.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebarb, second by Commissioner Coos. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Number 2 is consideration and action subject to ratification in open court the request by the Harrison County Sheriff's Office to create a no-wake zone in front of Big Pines Lodge, with the county to be responsible for the purchase of the buoy markers to designate the area for the no-wake zone.
Judge, I want to revisit on something on that real quick. That's been a misconception with that. That was not brought before the court or put in place for the owners of Big Pines. That was put in place for public safety, for the patrons of Big Pines getting on and off their boats at that dock. And from what I personally witnessed today, we were out there, and also their agreement and their cooperation with letting us use that dock for arrested or injured individuals coming on and off the lake, which at times may become a show for their customers, but they are willing to let us do that and agree that that's a good place for us to do that. As you know, in the past, there was a injured person, they were trying to get off the lake and they couldn't get people to slow down, and he had bones on the outside of his body instead of the inside, and it made it really rough on that person trying to get him up on that dock. So I think it's good for everybody involved. I do think it's good for Big Pines Lodge, but it wasn't put in place solely for that, and I just wanted to be on the record about that.
Sure. Very good. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any other questions or comments? Sheriff, I appreciate you jumping on that. I mean, I know it's been lots of activity, much more than normal up there, and to tighten things up
Yes,
was needed.
it will.
so-
It will absolutely help with traffic.
Yep, thank you. All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Number 3 is consideration and action regarding the purchase of 2 2027 Ford Police Interceptor utility vehicles, quote number 100-62695 for the Harrison County Sheriff's Department.
Those are just enterprise replacements. Hilton said it takes about 30 weeks, so he's going ahead and putting them in.
Right, so,
30 weeks.
yep, nearly 6 months. All right, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Coos. Any questions or comments? And that's why we were ordering these so early, because they're not in this current year's budget. but
Correct.
they're
They'll
in
be for next year.
Next year's
That's right.
budget, right? We'll be well into it by the time we get these. Got a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes 5-0. Number 4 is consideration and action regarding the proposal number 4668 from Bobcat Communications and Technologies, Inc. for striping and MCA, the new camera system, with trade-in quote number 3666189 for the 2 Ford Police Interceptor utility vehicles. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons, and this is just all the equipment that goes on those 2
Correct.
vehicles.
Will we pay this invoice 6 months out, or is this something that's gonna?
That'll come out of next year's budget.
Okay, that's part of that.
Once
too.
they get it installed, that's right.
Okay.
Till we take possession of it, correct?
Yep. All right, we got a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0. Number 5 is consideration and action regarding the Harrison County Emergency Management Plan, the basic plan part of that, which is for June 2026, as requested by James McConnell, our Harrison County Fire Marshal.
You need a comment on it, Jim? Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. This is really just some updates, making our emergency management plan current, and so not much to it other than updating it. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebar, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions or comments? Did you have any comments, Sheriff?
No, sir.
It's pretty straightforward. All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes 5-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Next up, from the county clerk, this item number 1 is consideration and action regarding transcribed minutes for the Commissioners Court meeting on July 16, 2026. You guys have had a chance to review those minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Coos. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Next up, from our treasurer. Morning, Ms. Rushing.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Item number 1 is consideration and action regarding the amended Harrison County Treasurer's Investment Report. These are corrections that you have for February, March, and April of 2026, and action regarding the Harrison County Treasurer Investment Report for May 2026.
Yes, sir. There was an error I overlooked in February that affected February's and March because of the totals are on those totals as well. And I've included, and you should have a copy of the corrections in there. The investment total, do I need to go over those, or do you have those?
Yes, ma'am, we have those. If you want to read the final updated one, that'd be fine.
Well, it's a good thing. I mean, I made an error, but it was a good thing because it was an increase in interest. For the month of February, I had reported interest for, on the Texas Bank and Trust Wealth Management, the 4763, as it, they only pay, some of them pay semi-annually. This was in that case, but the interest for February should have been $239,000. No, I'm sorry, the total. The February interest for that should have been $135,113.75. And the Texas Bank and Trust main account ending balance, I looked at the wrong one for, I'm not sure what happened this month, but it should have been $2,588,808.54. The monthly interest total should be $239,729.80, and the yearly interest should have been $561,367.29, which is an increase of $135,066.63 that was reported due to the way it's reported. And the interest on the Texas Bank and Trust goes into the money market, and it was the way that it's recorded and so forth. I missed that. And the reason I caught it was when I was going back to see that it should have been paid semi-annually further down, and I'm like, we hadn't received that. I noticed the correction then and went back and changed it for the month of February and March.
Very good.
So that's paid monthly, not quarterly?
For Texas Bank and Trust, it's semi-annual.
What,
The
looking on page one,
investment.
we've got February, March, and April with all the same amount, the exact amount, that 135, 113.75.
Commissioner, if you look-
Yes,
That's on page one.
because,
Yeah, but when you look back here, you'll see that we get big payments. There was 60,000 back in October, then nearly nothing, and then 135 in February, and that was the one that was the issue.
right,
So they're paying, we got a lot of money sitting there with them, and it's nothing most months until you get to the semi-annual payment. and
Yes.
it's a big one, so it's not like you can,
But why, I guess my question, when you turn over with that page, you're showing you've got it through February, but you don't show a March and April, but back on page one, it shows that 135 for March and April. Investment interest. Is that,
on the new reports you're looking at,
well, I don't know whether it's the new or the old.
on the new report, you should have that 135, 113.75 reflected on
it should be the
February,
last
March,
page.
and April's report.
Okay, so that's the updated one. I'm looking at
Yes.
the old.
Right,
Okay.
correct.
Thank you.
I included the old report in the new report, so you'd see the difference on there.
The most interesting part of the whole thing, Commissioner, is we're at $990,000 worth of interest through
Yes.
May, which is amazing. So
Yes,
thank you, Sherry.
and it will go over the million in June. I've already
Yep.
looked at it,
Yep.
so.
Good.
So it was an error, my fault, I apologize for that, I don't like making mistakes, but I wanted to pull those former approved reports and rectify it, so.
Very good. Thank you for catching
And
that.
it is an increase, so it's a good thing, 135,000, so.
Yep. Is there a motion to approve these amended treasurer reports?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes 5-0. Thank you, ma'am.
Appreciate
Now,
it.
do we, May, you want me to go over May's as well?
No, ma'am.
But you've included, okay, we're good there,
We're good.
okay. All right, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, under elections today, this is consideration and action regarding recommendations to serve one-year term as judges and alternates for the upcoming year, especially the November 2026 election by the Elections Administrator. Morning, Mr. Robinette.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. All right. Since we are countywide, I've had the election board meet, and we nominated the early voting ballot board as well. And the party chairs and I met together and decided on 16 locations for Election Day. And I've asked them to give me extra names in case some judge or alternate cannot work. So that's why we have more than 16 listed on this list. And so we usually have the court vote on these. Items 1 and 3 are on the same page that I submitted there.
All right, you guys have a list of the judges and alternates for the upcoming year to be appointed. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any questions or comments?
Did you include in that the ballot board, or we need to do
No,
number
sir.
3 now? Be good to get it while we're on the same page. So,
Well, that's item number 3. We can vote on it next,
okay,
but it's a separate item.
it is.
So these are judges and alternate judges, and then they'll hire their own clerks, or you'll help them find clerks to fill in all those
That is
gaps.
correct. Yeah, the judges and alternates have to be presented to the court each year.
Very good.
Okay.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0. You wanted to go ahead and go to number 3, the
If-
ballot
if you
board.
would, that
So
gets that
let's
taken
skip
care
to item number 3. This is consideration and action regarding recommendations for early voting ballot board members and a judge or alternate if needed for a signature verification committee as requested by the elections administrator.
Okay.
So at the bottom of that sheet, you've got the early voting ballot board listed.
Right. And we opted at the point to not appoint a signature verification committee to wait and see if we felt that there was a need. If there is, at that time, we'll have the election board meet and appoint a judge, an alternate judge. Most of the time, the ballot board can do that same work. But if we have 1,500, 2,000 ballot by mails, some large number like that, then I could either appoint it as the EA, or I could be petitioned by 15 voters to appoint one.
Okay. Very good. So this is to approve these recommendations on the early voting ballot board. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Coos. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0.
All righty. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, and the second item there was to look at the polling places.
Item number 2 is consideration and action regarding the election day polling locations and early voting locations.
Okay, I was asked to look at the possibility of opening another location for early voting. But if I'd have gone ahead and done my research at that time, I would have probably kind of talked that down at that point. Because here's what we were able to do, and this is the used to. Whenever we had the old voting equipment and before we became county-wide, we were able to set up voting equipment to, say, vote at Scottsville and then vote over at Karnak. And we could vote 2 or 3 days in one location and 2 or 3 days in the next location using the same equipment. And we did that for a number of locations during early voting. But the way the code reads now and the way the election law calendar reads, page 11 in their notes, it says any temporary polling places, excuse me, any temporary polling places must remain open for each weekday of the early voting period that the main early voting polling place will be open. Temporary branch polling places must be open at least 8 hours each day. We're typically open 9 from 8 to 5. And so if we did open another early voting location, technically we'd have to open it for the entire 2 weeks. And that's not what the original request was. It was just for a couple of days. And so I should have caught that at the time and said, hey, we can't really do it like that, at least not anymore. We have set up and we've been using the same early voting locations now for a number of years. 3 on the east side and 3 on the west side with the elections office in the middle, and that's worked pretty well. And I do need to tell you too, our election office, since it's the main early voting location, all of the main early voting locations in all 254 counties must be open the middle weekend. Saturday, 7 to 7, and Sunday, we can pick our hours, but I choose 1 to 7 so people can go to church. And then the following week, all the main election offices must be open 12-hour days again. So we've got lots of opportunities for people to vote early. And so the recommendation was for another polling location during that early voting, and I have not heard back from that location. I've contacted them several times. It's the only one I have not heard back from. So I think they have a real concern about security on their campus or something, but I would recommend not doing that one and just go with the 7 that we've typically gone with. And so that would be my recommendation on the early voting ones. And you can see the list here of the 16 that were chosen among the party chairs and myself as being pretty well scattered out. We put little red dots on the map to kind of see if we were geographically aiding the voters with not being too many clustered in the city of Marshall or too far or not enough of them out in the country. And so if you look at that second page that I submitted with this list, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that are either in Marshall or near Marshall on election day. And then there would be, we tried to split them as fairly as we could among the commissioner offices, being 5 in Mr. Hatfield's, 4 in Mr. Timmons, 3 in Mr. Coos's, and 4 in Mr. Ebar's for election day. And so, would you have any question or comment on my recommendation there? My recommendation is to go ahead and just use the same 7 that we've been using for early voting and not have any more at this time.
My only comment is about election day, and you'll remember, I think it was the library that got so backed up.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be
That was a
too.
unique election. Remember, it was that November constitutional amendment election?
And we didn't think we're gonna have that many people, but
Right.
I'm just asking you to make sure we're pretty beefed up and healthy to have.
I
to
believe
handle
what
it.
we presented here would keep us pretty well beefed
Well,
up,
and
you
I
know.
think it was the staff maybe that you
Yeah.
needed more staff there at that day. I don't
Yeah.
remember. You probably know the details, but let's make sure we don't run into that again.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a very embarrassing situation. It was totally unexpected. There is not a real good science that I know of on predicting how people are going to act or turn out for any given election. So you can kind of look at how things have worked in the past and kind of judge, okay, this was a constitutional amendment election, this was a primary election, this was a general election, how did people respond, and so forth, and kind of get somewhat of an idea of what's going on there. But anyway, if you remember in the workshop too, I told you and advised you the best I could figure, and I forgot to figure overtime into that, but to keep these polling locations open for 2 weeks, and then I didn't even figure the elections office with the extra hours that we had, but and then go back on election day, it's roughly about $6,000 a polling place. Actually, it's higher than that. You know, so that's why I would like to kind of keep our costs down doing what we're currently doing as well. I believe I underestimated probably on that. I did not refigure them before I came this morning. I was still waiting for a reply from a few people, and so far that has not come in. But let's see. I believe that's all I wanted to share with you at this point.
I will say on election day, here in Marshall, there are several places that are open, so hopefully the library will not, we have the convention center, we have ECDU, we have Wiley, and, just right here, and, so they do have an option.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there will be 7 in or around Marshall. 5 in Marshall and 2 that are nearby. Scottsville and Nesbit will be open. Yeah.
I do have a question about the library. Are they open? Have they opened back up?
Well, they're closed right now, of course, but
Right.
they have not opened back up yet. But hopefully they will be back open by that time. Yeah. Will it be that long? Sure.
Till
Okay.
October, okay.
In the event that they are not open, we might have to look for another polling place. I'm already. This is off the subject, but if that Senate bill that changes all the election dates and everything still stands next year, I'm already looking at some different polling places because it'll knock us out of some of our church polling places because it'll have us voting on Saturday and Sunday and holidays. We're hoping that when the legislature meets that they will repeal that, but anyway, as it stands right now. On that issue, very briefly, the Secretary of State is waiting till they get a report from all 254 counties before they give a report to the legislature. Once that report is issued, then it would be implemented, if it does, you know. So just to make you aware.
I made a comment last week about our elections and the people that run our elections. We want to thank you.
Yeah.
We hear a lot of chatter.
Yeah,
A lot of it's not good.
yeah,
We don't have those problems here in Harrison County, and we don't expect to have those problems here in Harrison County because we have good people
yeah.
running our elections.
Like Barney Fife, nip it in the bud,
Yeah,
nip it in the bud.
So we
you know.
want to thank you and
Sir.
all the election workers
Yeah.
for doing a superb job here.
Well, thank you, sir, yeah. And we're going to continue to strive to do that. We do get, when we have these big elections that require us to be open those extra hours, it is extremely tiring. And so we try to kind of rotate shifts sometimes, but sometimes you just cannot do that. You know, you just got to stay in Barrett until you get it done.
All right, on item number 2, this is election day polling locations and early voting locations. Is there a motion to approve the 16 election day locations and the 7 without Wiley University?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Coos. Any questions,
Let me
comments?
ask a question, something that's come up in the past, what, is there a set rate that we pay these places that are not affiliated with the county for use of their facility? Is everybody getting the same thing, or is it back like it was a couple years ago? It was a pretty good discrepancy between what we were paying different locations. So
Yeah.
what drives that? I mean, to me, everybody that opens one should get the same that we're paying for one. Everybody should be
True,
getting the same thing.
yeah.
And it wasn't in the past. I can't remember when it was. It's been several years ago.
Since I've been doing it, it's been pretty equal. I've pretty much paid them $75 a day
Okay.
for the most part,
I mean,
yeah.
everybody's basically the same amount.
Yeah, there's been a few times because of the church, last time I cut them back to $50 a day, but they still got a pretty good check,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I just want to make sure that everybody, in my mind, was basically being
Yeah.
paid on
Yeah,
same amount.
try to keep things fair and honest and the same. There was a few years ago that Woodlawn Community Center had raised their fee to $200 a use, and so I started looking for another place. And whenever I looked for another place, they came begging back and said, "Hey, we won't charge you that. We want it to be here," you know. And so we went back there and we paid them the $75, you know, which that's kind of more or less a courtesy for the use of their heat and air and lights and all that, you
I
know, and
understand that.
try to leave the place clean. Some churches, for example, if you were to have a wedding there, they're liable to charge you $1,500 for the use of the building, you know, or something. It's according to what each one does. One other quick note on the polling places, we are anticipating the last 2 days of early voting, keeping those other 6 locations open 12-hour days as well. So that was discussed between our chairs and our board there as well. So there will be additional times at the current early voting locations for people to get out and vote. So I'd forgotten to mention that.
Very good. We got a motion and a second. Any other questions? Ms. Knapp, I know you wanted to talk about something here. We've already passed you. Are you okay? Or? Okay. Very good. All right. Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0. On to number 4, this is consideration and action regarding the request by the Elections Administrator to enter into a contract with ECM Today, which is a digitizing company with the initial purchase coming from contract services, special account, and renewal paid, the annual renewal paid from the 25-26 budget.
Okay. We already have a digital program in place called Vista. And in looking and comparing with ECM Today, ECM Today is so much better and more advanced that it would be dumb to not get their system and use it. It's time to renew Vista, and so instead of renewing them, I would like to propose that I go with this. And they've, other than their initial installation, they're going to pretty much let us have it for the same cost that we currently pay Vista, around $8,200 a year. And we do need to make a correction on the printed agenda that the annual renewal would come out of next year's budget, not
That
this.
was the 26-27 budget.
27, yes, yeah. And so I should still have plenty of funds in that special contract account. And I wrote down the line item, it's 200-407-4410-25. That would go ahead and cover that initial cost. Any other monies that I have left in the regular budget at this time, I will move them to some of those line items where I'm already over budget, so.
All right, is there a motion to approve this contract that, with the adjustment that Mr. Robinette mentioned of being from the 26-27 budget?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye.
All right, well, thank you, gentlemen.
Hearing none, motion passes.
Appreciate the work you guys
5-0.
do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
All right, this is on to new business. Item number 1 is consideration and action regarding the request by Reed McCain, our district attorney, pursuant to the order for exiting officials for the payment of $1,500 to the Joint Harrison County Violent Crime Narcotics Task Force to replenish funds used in task force operations to be paid from line item 890.820.4499.20. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coos, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0. Item number 2 is consideration and action regarding the request by Reed McCain, our district attorney, pursuant to the order for exiting official for the payment of $162.10 to the grand jury for lunch on June 25th, 2026, and $77.75 for breakfast for the law enforcement and investigators during investigation of murders at Whataburger on June 27, 2026. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Hatfield. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Item number 3, this is an item brought by Melanie Whitehurst, our juvenile director, but we're not able to do this. These funds will be coming out of a grant fund going into a regular line item, and we're not able to accomplish that. It's not legal for us to do it, so we're going to skip item number 3, and we'll go on to item number 4. This is consideration and action regarding the resolution supporting the creation of a regional groundwater conservation district to protect and preserve the Carrizo-Wilcox Aquifer in northeast Texas. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ebar, second by Commissioner Hatfield. Any questions or comments? So you guys have had a chance to review the resolution, and the bottom line of this is we want to protect the water in East Texas. And if we don't and somebody drains our water, we have real problems. And so it's to leave our groundwater unprotected is something that it's just a risk that we need to consider carefully. This groundwater conservation district does not solve all the issues, but it does get us started and gives us some teeth as a county, and it makes sense for it to be with the other 14 counties that also have this Carrizo-Wilcox aquifer that we use running through them. So to have all of us joined in together so that one county's not pumping water out of the district and harming its neighbors makes a lot of sense, and that's what this proposed groundwater conservation district will do. I don't have any other public comments, but I just want to make sure. I know there were some here that had some concerns or thoughts or issues. If you'd like to make a comment or have a question, I'd be happy to hear from you. It's okay if you don't, either way.
I'd like to add,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Timmons and I were talking yesterday, what, proceeding into the future in the discovery of what this is and how it's gonna look. I know at one time, there's like 10, 11, 12 independent water districts that are in Harrison County, and they've got a board that they've put together. I would like, Mr. Timmons and I was talking, and I think he's talked with one of the members, we'd like for them to sit down in their group and come up with maybe some do's and don'ts or how this is gonna affect in us to have some type of conversation with them before we get too far into this. So if there's something that we need to be pushing for our local water boards, that we get that input from them to make sure we don't miss something maybe that's not affecting us as a big whole of these 15 counties, but that we need independently as here in Harrison County. So I would ask that we entertain setting up some type of meeting in the future before this thing gets too far off the ground. So I just have a heart that we either miss something or we put something that really affects them that we didn't need. Mm-hmm. So I would ask that we do that here in the pretty near future.
Sure.
So we can get their input as to how we need to proceed forward with this thing.
Yep, this court proposed that we create that little local groundwater committee for the whole county, and you guys appointed members to that, and they're all on those boards, or they're the water operator, and it makes a lot of sense to hear from them.
We need to hear from them.
So, great idea. Any other questions or comments on this resolution supporting the creation of a regional groundwater conservation district? If not, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0. Number 5 is consideration and action regarding the acceptance of resignations of Farron Kane and Mark McElroy as ESD Fire Commissioners, and the appointment of Max Souls to fill the unexpired term of Farron Kane, and the appointment of Melinda Beatty to fill the unexpired term of Mark McElroy as ESD Fire Commissioners, with both terms to expire December 31, 2026. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coos, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any questions or comments?
Hey, I had a call, or came into Mr. Office yesterday or day before, and before we vote to approve, Ms. Beatty had called in the exhibits that were presented to us to go on the agenda, her name is misspelled. It should have 2 T's, Beatty.
Okay.
And she asked that be corrected before, so we need to correct that in that motion before we, take action. I've sent an email to Mr. Truelove, who represents them, explaining to him what her concern was that she had voiced to us, and asked him to make sure on his end that he gets his corrected on his paperwork also. Because it was sent in as exhibits to put this on here from the minutes and the motions that were made, and it was misspelled in it also, so.
Yeah. So we just copied off their work.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll make that adjustment to have 2 T's in Miss Beatty's name. All right, we got a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Number 6 is consideration and action regarding the acceptance of the resignation of Tim Culpepper on ESD 7 Fire Commissioner, and appointment of Westy Meisenheimer to fill the unexpired term of the ESD 7 Fire Commissioner, with said term to end 12/31/2026. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Hatfield. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Number 7, consideration and action regarding the submission of the feral hog grant application to the Texas A&M Wildlife Services for up to $20,000 for a Bull Creek hog trap to help with the eradication of wild feral hogs in Harrison County. Morning, Lieutenant Mays.
Morning, how are y'all?
Good.
Good. Matt couldn't be here this morning, so he asked me to speak for him. This grant is eligible for up to $20,000. We've applied for it in the past. Last year we didn't get it, but I believe it was the year before that we did, and that's my understanding. They try to help other and kind of do it in alternating years, so we feel kind of confident we may get it this year. There needs to be some discussion because we got 2 different quotes for 2 different types of traps. One trap was so expensive it nearly took up the whole $20,000, but it's apparently very, very automated, does a lot of things on its own, whereas the others that we looked at are about $3,700 a piece. We can buy nearly up to 5 of those with that same $20,000. So there needs to be some discussion about which way we want to go. And also, Matt's still trying to find out, regardless of which ones we buy, if the trapper is going to be able to utilize those himself, or if they have to be strictly by, the landowner individual.
Very good. I would suggest that we remove this wording in our motion about the Bull Creek hog trap and just remove Bull Creek and
Yes,
make it
yes.
hog trap. And it'd be my suggestion that we listen to our trapper and buy the one that he's most happy with, which I know is the $3,700 one, much cheaper
Yeah.
than the other. And he's the one out there doing it all day, every day. He's very successful, and I'd listen to him. That's my 2 cents. Any other questions or comments from you commissioners?
There's another grant that I saw in the last couple of days. I don't know if I sent it to you. I think I sent it to the judge. Seemed like it was a USDA for the 14 southern states. It totals about $35 million for hog eradication. Let me look back through
Okay.
after court, and I'll be sure today. Sometimes I'll send it to you and get you to look at it and see if it's something that fits our deal too. But it's big.
You bet. You bet.
All right, could I have a motion for item number 7 on the submission of the feral hog grant, but remove the words Bull Creek?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Ebar, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. By the way, just some good news. Our 449 tower is going up as we speak.
Today.
Yeah, they came in early this week. The sections of the tower are being constructed on the ground. I'm headed out there now to meet with the crane is supposed to arrive somewhere around 10 to 10:30, and they need a little traffic control out there to get it into the location. But they hope to actually stack the tower sections tomorrow and have it up.
All right. Get us some pictures.
Thank you.
Item number 8 is consideration and action regarding the appointment of Amy Kirkland to the position of Harrison County Indigent Health Director. But before we do that, we'd like to honor our outgoing Health Director, County Indigent Health Director, and that's Miss Debbie Dean. Debbie, you mind coming up here? Miss Dean, we got you a little certificate here. Guys, would y'all come down? We'll take a picture. This was 20 years of service to the county. We appreciate you.
Timmy, you need to fix your hair there, I think. Can you see me? I do.
Thank you, Ms. Dean. We appreciate you very much. Wish you the best in your retirement.
Enjoy.
All right, that brings us back to appointing Ms. Kirkland. Good morning.
Good
Ms.
morning.
Johnston.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. We have, Debbie Dean and I interviewed Amy Kirkland a couple of weeks ago, and that is who we are presenting to the court for approval. If you recognize Amy, she has worked with Mathewson Drug for about 15 years, so she's a familiar face in this community, and we think that she's perfect for that position.
Fantastic. Ms. Kirkland, we appreciate you considering it and look forward to you joining us here at Harrison County, so thank you. All right. Is there a motion to approve?
I'd like to make that motion, and I want to welcome Ms. Kirkland on board. I know her work ethics, I know what she can do, and very, very pleased to have you join Harrison County.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Ebarb. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, our motion passes 5-0. Our last item, I did not see Mr. Green in here. It's consideration and action regarding the presentation by Kevin Green, Chairman of the America 250 Committee, pertaining to the America 250 July 4th drone show. He might have got tied up somewhere else, but we'll look forward to having him back to do that again at a later date. We'll move now on to our budget workshop, but before we do that, we're going to take about a 10-minute break, so see y'all back in here about 10 after 10. 9:57.